Today we're in Kent in England going to the unconventional boardgame convention.
So as you come through the door and you've paid for your ticket, you can immediately sign up for lots of tournaments and competitions and different bits and pieces that they've got going on during the day. We've also got a couple of our friendly local game stores here. So you've got over here Board at Home with Adam, who's based in Ramsgate, and also Darius here from the Canterbury store, Dice and Destiny. So they've got a nice collection of games that we can look through and see what's new to offer. I know Darius particularly has new games, Moonflight, also Flamecraft, Heat. Loads of the new titles are here for people to buy today, so that's always good to have a look through. There's also a bring and buy and a games library, so people can play lots of games that are on the library, which is great fun.
Board gamers need more in their life. Well, you can't play many games without having truly beautiful dice. And here at the Dice Miners, we've got a big selection of dice you can choose from. Some are ornate, some are decorative, and some are even filled with glitter and sparkle. Now I'm joined here by Benson, who is from the Dice Miners. And what's your big sellers you've got going on here today? What would you really recommend for someone who wants to spend dice in their life?
So if someone is really into the top collections, I'd recommend getting a set of gemstone dice. If the player's looking for a bit of a heavy hitter character like a barbarian, can't recommend anything more than a metal set that's going to make a bit of fun on the tabletop, just like that character is in combat. If you're after something a bit more unique, then I can always recommend sets of the resins where we've got ducks, or if you're a bit of a seafaring character, we've got ships there as well, or something like Under the Sea, which is our starfish set. We've also got, for our war gamers out there, like Warhammer or Age of Sigmar, we've also got some D6s as well, or if you're that way inclined to play a Magic the Gathering, then we can also hook you up with some +1 +1 counters.
Library here, so you can grab a table and grab a game that takes your fancy, and there is quite a few great games to choose from here. Some of our favourites have caught my eye. Lost Ruins of Arnak, of course we have that on our shelves at home, so wouldn't need to play that here, but there is loads of games here that we would like to try. We haven't played Cartographers yet, which seems like a bit of a gap for us, so that would be great. It's nice to see the Century with the different editions. We just have the base one at the moment, but I know that we are looking to get the other two, so maybe we can have a look at that one later. And there's a great selection between lighter games, family games, and those heavier ones as well. I mean, Clank Legacy here, I don't know if we get through the whole Legacy while I was playing, but it would give you a great chance to do that. And Rising Sun is another brilliant game here. Blood Rage is a game I always love, but we don't own as yet. One of the games that I think is going to be the first one that we grab off the shelf here is Potion Explosion. It's a game that we absolutely love. We play on Board Game Arena quite a lot, and we can't get hold of the real copy in the UK for love nor money. And because we have the girls here, it's a family day out, I think it's going to be the perfect weight kind of game, and we'll have a lot of fun with this one. So this one is going to come our way.
Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you're probably going to recognise Scott, who last spot half of the UK Games Expo, and back here today looking at Swatch. And Swatch has got a bit of a history here.
It has, yeah. So I first publicly playtested Swatch at UnCon 2019. I spoke to Darius and I said in the run-up to the show, I want to playtest a game that I've designed at the show. And he's like, yeah, sure. What's it going to be? I said, I don't know, because I hadn't designed it at that point.
At that point, just an idea.
Yeah, so 6 weeks later I had my first prototype of what would become Swatch designed, and yeah, here we are it, kickstarted, published, produced.
It's a physical thing, and you often see people around who are still playing. It's got a great vibe about it. People being very excited about it. And I think what's good is it's one of those classic. It's quite simple to explain, but then there's a lot of depth here. Well, what a journey it's been on. So from bits of paper to now a fully published a game design.
Yeah, official published game design.
And so it's just a starting point for me now. This is starting things on the horizon.
Yeah, I've been working on a few other designs, some which are a little similar in scope, some which are quite different in both theme and mechanisms. And I also have an announcement coming soon about what my next game will be, which is quite different from Swatch, but at the same time it has a lot of underlying themes which will tie it together. I think, like you said, as a game, it's very simple to explain, but it has lots of opportunities for depth, and I think that's really what I want my brand to be.
I'm looking forward to playing it next year.
Oh yeah, that's exciting.
Now they haven't just catered for us adult gaming lovers here today, they have made it an effort to make it quite child friendly too. So there's stations like this one here where you can design, and if you win the competition you can also get cheap tickets to next year's event, so that's a big on round. And it definitely does entertain the kids whilst they're here, whilst you're trying to what board you might need to add to your collection.
So I'm now here with Davide, who's going to show me, talk about your new game here.
Yes, so this is Glamis, which is a game loosely based on the story from Macbeth. Glamis was the name of the initial house where Macbeth lived. Mm-hmm. So people can be familiar with the line clams, or water, etc., etc.
I see.
Basically, it's an area majority push-your-luck game,
Okay.
where you try to balance the influence on the board, moving around distant districts of nobles, so that when the king visits the region, you're the most influent and you get the most favor points. But it's also a push-your-luck because it's based around the guilt that you build up with your actions. And again, as in the theme of the tragedy, the more guilt you take, the more guilt you feel, and the risk of losing your mind is very present.
Right.
And when you're too guilty, you start playing the game not really strategically because you have some punishments.
Yeah, because things start going wrong.
Yeah, that's about it. I've been developing for a year, and I'm hoping to find a publisher.
Okay.
This is like a new version. It's not finished and perfect because I changed quite a lot in the last weeks.
Right.
But yeah, it's still fairly in development, but the core concept is there. It's the main idea is again playing with guilt and the consequences of your action.
Right. And how are people finding it today? Are they enjoying playing?
I did a playtest today that they felt it was really interesting. Very, the core concept is very compelling to them.
Yeah.
It needs polishing again, but
That's the beauty of prototype testing, isn't it?
yeah, that's why I'm here.
And it's a great kind of place to come. You're getting lots of people coming to try out new ideas, new games, and
Oh, definitely. Every person you try with, they give you a feedback they can translate it into an idea.
Yes.
So the more people play, the better.
you want to test it to its breaking point,
Yeah.
and then work out where to go from
It's
there.
taste it, test it till you don't like it anymore.
Absolutely. Well, this is exciting, and I hope it goes really well for you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So we're here now with our friend Mike from Gun Tower Games. He has a new game, Pandora Celeste, coming out. So tell us a bit more about the game, Mike.
This is a light-hearted space survival game, basically. Think Nemesis Light. You are the crew of a spaceship, and you wake up and the ship basically tells you that there's a whole bunch of emergency protocols that you need to deal with. The thing you as the crew know is emergency protocols aren't there to protect you, they're there to protect the ship. So you've got to shut them down, otherwise they'll kill you. And having done that, all of a sudden a nasty comes out of the shadows and all hell breaks loose.
Sounds a lot of fun.
It is a lot. People seem to really, really enjoy it, which is good. What you do.
It is. So have you all got different things to do? Are you working as a team or individually?
It's a semi-cooperative game. and that when the emergency protocols kick in, everybody has to work together to solve these little logic puzzles. Once you solve that puzzle, then all of a sudden something big and nasty turns up, and everybody gets an agenda that kind of pins into their PDF, so to speak, and all of a sudden everybody's going off in different directions.
So at that point, you're each to your own.
Kind of.
Make the best survive.
You can cooperate, but it's the prisoner's dilemma. You know, and if you all cooperate together, then you've probably got more of a chance of survival. But you only need one person to decide that they're going to go after their own agenda, and it's all hands on themselves. I have had one game where a couple of guys were playing it, and they just basically played as a perfect team. You know, getting themselves off the ship nice and quickly, ignoring the agendas. Most of the time, everybody splits off and backs into dark corners, which is what you want.
They want the win. So, this is obviously a prototype of the game. What is your next steps? Where will we see it more?
We are in a position at the moment of starting to commission art for the game, and I've got a graphic designer on board, and we will start refining the look of the game. At the moment, as you say, it's all just basically prototype cards, prototype art. By UK Games Expo, we're hoping to have a good printed demo copy with proper art, and we'll go from there. We're hoping to kickstart at the end of next year. It will depend on how many follow.
Yeah, great. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully, we look forward to playing the full art version prior to launch.
Well, everybody seems to really enjoy it when they play it, so fingers crossed.
Yes. Thank you.
Now, one of the big features I really enjoyed at the UK Games Expo was the bring and buy. We spent many a penny in there, bagged quite a few bargains, and it tends to be the first place I gravitate to when I come to one of these kind of conventions. The earlier you get here, the better you're going to do, because you want to see the bargains first and make sure you're adding those to your collection for some of that season. So the way this is working here is that people are bringing their own games, leaving them out on the table with a price attached, and then if you see something that tickles your pickle, there's a number, call them up, and not only have you got a new game, you've also made a new gaming friend, because who knows, maybe they could teach you how to play it, you'll sit down and play some games with them, and hurrah, you've got a friend for life from just coming to one of these conventions. And a game that's already caught my eye is Scrooge the Board Game. It's going to be perfect for this time of the year, and kind of hard to resist.
I'm Hoather. I'm creating a game called Feng Shui, and this is like a garden building game. So you're building a Chinese style garden and building
right up our street.
And so yes, if you like other sort of polyomino or puzzle games like Round Park or Patchwork, it's very similar in style. And as you put in trees, they have different colours and shapes, which help move up the different element tracks. And you want to try and put all the elements in and keep everything roughly in balance. And so you don't want to let any element get left behind. Here are like the trees and like the garden scenes. And then when you take one, each tree will have two elements. So this is earth, because it's yellow, and metal, because it's a circle. So when I'll build this, I can say take one of these pieces, I'm going to get it out, and put it in my garden here, and then that will give me one yellow point and one circle point, so I can build up on my tracks. Each day you can like choose what time to go in the garden centre, and you can get karma by letting other people go first. But the people that have the most karma get to choose what time they go first. So balance.
Balance out. A lot of balance.
Yeah, a lot of balance. All Feng Shui is balance.
Oh, this looks lovely. So is this launched already?
No, so it's in development at the moment, and then hopefully once I get a nice enough positive feedback, I'll go to Kickstarter or to get published.
Lovely. We'll keep an eye out.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Some joined here with Mannequin Games, and you've got quite a lot of things to show here.
Yeah, we've got a few things going on. So over here we've got Gaslands. So it's a tabletop miniatures Death Race 2000 Mad Max style game where you play with Hot Wheels cars or Matchbox, wherever you have available.
Right.
So we would say it's like it's a miniatures game that you've got miniatures for anyway. You drive around, shoot, slam, smash, use the templates to get yourself around the racetrack. Last man standing or first person around the track wins. So I'm running demos of that here today. Moonflight is a deck unbuilder. So you're probably familiar with the normal deck builder. You play and you get to the end, and then you've got a 40 or 50 card deck you have to count through and figure out who actually won. That's great, but I found sometimes if I'm like 1 point behind and demand a complete recount, and we spend there. So in Moonflight, when the marketplace runs out, instead of ending the game, all the cards spin through 180 degrees and go from having card deck building abilities to unlocking card trashing abilities. The game ends when one player has no deck and has all of their cards in their hand. If you build your deck elegantly and trash it out efficiently, you'll catch the other person with non-scoring cards in hand and win the game. And so there's a set of different jacks, each of which have different deck building abilities and synergies with their own marketplace. Turing is an image interpretation game. So I don't know if you know the Turing test.
Yes.
So for those who aren't familiar, the Turing test is this idea that you have two computers attached to a judge. One has a human being, one is just a computer. The judge asks questions and then decides which is a human and which is a computer. If he says the computer's a human, the computer's achieved artificial intelligence.
Yes.
I always wondered, what does that mean for the human being who just failed the Turing test?
Oh, of course, yes.
So in Turing, all you are trying to do is communicate to everybody else that there is an intelligent, thinking human being. You're doing it by placing out abstract images. So the game will select 3 images, you will select 3 images, and then your friends have to figure out which 3 images were chosen by an intelligent person and which were thrown out by the game. The images are chosen so they have ways of interpreting them so they connect to each other. Yeah, so I love Mystium, I love Dixie, I love those image interpretation games. I can't put out the amount of artwork necessary, so for years I've been picking up suitable pictures off of small artists here and there, and I finally got to the point where I've got my little pocket version of that sort of image interpretation game. And SSO was my first ever Kickstarter. Essentially, something awful has killed off the crew of the SSO leader. You are the rescue team who've got to turn up and guide it through its mission to completion. At the start of the game, there's enough air on the ship for all the crew who begin the game to survive half the way through. You can work together to complete missions and produce more oxygen and get everyone through, or if there's enough air for all the crew to get halfway through, there's enough air for half the crew to get all the way through. If you turn on each other immediately, the game is coming for you and it will tear you to pieces. You will usually, if you choose to betray each other, you do it at the last second after someone saved your life a few times. And my favourite moments are actually when someone does the maths, realises there's not enough air for everyone to get through and says, right, I'm going to do the noble thing. I'm going out for a walk through the airlock, and maybe sometime you guys save the world. So that's what we've currently got going on this table today.
I've got to say, it's the most diverse table we've seen today.
This is Danger Zone based on Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds, for those of you who don't know, and why wouldn't you know, is a classic 1960s TV show all about puppets saving people from peril all across the world. I've loved it since I was a kid, absolutely adored it, and the chance to work on a game was, well, I just leapt at it, so it's fantastic. So this is all based on 7 different original episodes. This is the simplest one, just as a brief intro. And what it is, you don't need to know the show, but it helps. This is an episode called End of the Road. And in End of the Road, you've got a classic cliffhanger almost. You've got a truck on the edge of a cliff, about to fall off. Who's going to save the truck? Well, international rescue. It's a cooperative game, so each player decides which of these resources are necessary to be fulfilled by the rest of the team. So each player has got their own 3 cards. We're trying to get a combination of 5 team spirit, and actually I'll show you one that works. So this player player right has played that one and player left has played that one. We don't see these until they're revealed, but as you can see, 1 team spirit plus 4 team spirit equals 5 team spirit. That means that is covered, and that's what we're trying to do throughout the rest of the game. So we're trying to cover everything and gradually move forward. Once all of that's complete, the game ends. You've also got all of the characters that are left at home. So you've got Tintin, you've got Gordon, Brains, Lady Penelope, Parker. All of the characters have got their own little special abilities. Parker, for example, can change the value of some of these cards that have been played. So he can halve the values. Because of his criminal background, he can change the value. And all sorts of other different things, little rule breakers that go on throughout the rest of the game. So it's, in short, a cooperative 2 to 6 player game based on the original TV series, and it's going down really well, especially with Anderson fans, which is marvellous.
Great, yes, it looks fantastic. Thank you.
So you've had a fantastic day here at the Uncon Convention here in Kent in England.
Yep, we've met some lovely people, we've got some bring and buy bargains and played a few games as well.
If this is the first time discovering this channel, please do like, comment and subscribe, and let us know what you would have bought and you would have done here at the Uncon Convention. And who knows, maybe we'll see you this time next year.